everybody was still in it. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I found myself in the front with maybe a K or 900 to go, and I was just going to stay there until someone pulled up on my shoulder. And when Grant did, then it was just trying to match his speed. Grant has great foot speed. He's shown it time and time again, and so that was my whole game plan. I didn't really think about who was left. I couldn't really see who was left. It was just, if anyone pulls up on my right shoulder, go with them and give them a fight to the line.
Making an Olympic team last year and running the Olympics, how do you think that experience maybe paid off for you tonight, and what's it going to mean for you going forward?
Yeah, I mean, a year ago making the Olympics was truly the dream. I mean, it was the goal was to get to the Olympics, and then going into this year, you don't take it for granted ever in the U.S. making a world team, but really making the world team was kind of the standard. I mean, if I didn't make the world team, it was, I don't want to say a failure of a year, but that was the goal this year. And if I didn't make it, I'd really have to reassess what I'm doing the rest of the summer. And so I didn't want to let that happen. But then certainly going into the world champs, I learned a lot at the Olympics last year. I mean, I really did not put myself up in the race. I didn't really give myself a shot. I finished 16th. I wasn't really happy with that. And so I plan to be a lot more aggressive this year. I mean, Grant was 5th a year ago, and I was able to run right with him today to the line. And so I think that, the U.S., we need to, Grant had a great run getting 5th last year, but for me, getting 16th, that's not going to cut it this year.
So what's it mean to come in and not only win a national title, but win a national title at a place like this where, distance running is really respected and loved?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, there's good fans out there tonight, and not just good fans, good number of fans, but fans that know the sport. And so you tell them 26:33, and they know that's Grant's American record. They know track and field, and so it's really fun to do it in front of the Hayward crowd.
And now just your thoughts on not only making another global championship team, but you've made a global championship team that's going to be on U.S. soil for the first time. Thoughts on having it here in about 6 weeks' time or so?
Yeah, I mean, I don't take that for granted. I mean, I know they haven't had it here in a long time, if ever. And so to be able to do that here at Hayward in the new stadium, I mean, the whole world's coming here. And so I think that as a U.S. athlete, we got to really perform. We want to, you always want to do good on the world stage, but being at home, you have a little extra pressure on you.
How's it going to feel having a teammate alongside you on the women's side in the 10K at World?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, a year ago in Tokyo, having Alicia there in training, we do, pretty much all the same workouts, obviously different paces, but having her there and kind of being able to gauge, in our training, like if she's tired, if she's feeling really good, and just kind of know, she's going through the same training. And so it gives you a lot of confidence. Like today when she made the team, it just lets me know, hey, our training's been good, we're in a good spot. It certainly gives me a lot of confidence. I like that the women usually go first because seeing her make a team gives me tons of confidence.
What was kind of the key to your race today? Because, I mean, I think a lot of people probably expected you to be on the team, but I think a lot of people probably, fair or unfairly, kind of conceded that Grant would win this race. So what was just kind of the key to winning the race tonight?
Yeah, I mean, just my whole race plan going in, and that's kind of been my race plan the whole last year, is just be engaged in the front of the race. Be engaged with what's happening up front. And after Tokyo, I was pretty upset with how I raced, and so going into races this year, I just want to be up in there. I want to be engaged with what's happening up front and just not let anyone run away. And then over the end of the race, just trying to match everyone's move. But I didn't really have a race plan. I didn't have any expectation for what it was going to be, and it was just pay attention to what's happening up front, and when you go to the front, don't let anyone go by you.
And you got a little bit of this Prefontaine mustache to win at Prefontaine too, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Was there any time that you were worried about being boxed in? Because I know that y'all all were together for so long.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a physical race. I mean, I got blood down my leg. I was being pushed around a lot, but if you let that stuff affect you, you got to learn how to race. You got to learn how to take that stuff. I mean, if you get thrown to the ground, you get thrown around, you just gotta roll with it, because if you can not let it affect you and know that it's going to affect other people more than you, it kind of gives me confidence. When everyone's jockeying around, pushing around, just knowing that other people are more stressed out than I am, it kind of just lets me know, yeah, you guys can push each other around, but let's see how you can do over the last 400 meters.
Other than that last lap in the sprint to the finish, where did you feel you had to dig deepest during the race?
Yeah, there were a few pace changes. I was almost falling asleep out there. We were running 5-minute pace for a bit, and then some people went to the front and started moving, and it's just these quick pace changes, and they weren't fast pace changes, but when you're running 5-minute pace, you're almost falling asleep. And so there was points in the race, halfway through, where I was I'm feeling a little tired, but really I look at the pace, I'm we're going so slow. I just had to snap out of it and realize, look, like I can close the race in under 4 minutes if I have to. But when you're running 5-minute pace, sleeping, it's like you got to snap out of that, you know. So there were multiple times. Whenever the pace kind of changed, it was a bit of like I had to wake up and like snap out of kind of that lull of just 5-minute pace, jogging around the track.
Did you see the moment when Woody dropped out?
I did, yeah. I saw him poking at his side. Looked like maybe he had a side stitch or something. But yeah, it's the 10K. There's a lot of time for things to go wrong, and it's unfortunate. I mean, it was great being on the team last year in Tokyo with Woody. He finished right in front of me, and after the race, we talked and basically just said like we want to do better next year. And so it's unfortunate he won't be on the 10K team. But I think we're setting a great team with Sean and Grant, and I've got a lot of confidence Woody will make the 5K. I mean, he's such a good runner. Shows up when it counts almost every time. So yeah, it was unfortunate for him, but I mean, he's a great runner. He'll bounce back.
Did that change your race at all, your mindset when you?
No, not really. I knew that he had a great kick, and I knew that. Yeah, I would say the only thing that changed was knowing that one of the great kickers was out of the race. But it didn't change how I raced. I mean, by the end of the race, I forgot that he had even dropped out. Like, I'm not paying attention really to what other people are doing, or like who's who. You know, it's like chess. You know, it's like a bunch of pawns out there. I'm not looking at, oh, that's Grant, that's Woody. You know, it's just playing. You know, it's just racing everyone who's out there.
Now that Worlds is in Eugene, kind of where new generation is set up, any plans for any more photo shoots before Worlds?
I don't know. You'll have to talk to the people at On. It's pretty fun having them out, and there's a really good response to the magazine we made, and so maybe we'll have another issue. Who knows?
I had to ask about the spikes. How you like those?
Oh, they're great. Yeah,
spikes.
yeah. No, they've done a lot of work to get us these spikes quickly amidst a pandemic and shutdowns and factory shutdowns. So I'm super thankful to have these, and hopefully they'll be available soon.
How do they feel versus the Dragonflies?
Man, these spikes are great. All I can say is, yeah, they did a great job on these. Yeah, I've run well every time in them. So.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.